Well, good afternoon to you. I'm meteorologist Nicholas Herboso, taking a look at the current pattern out there on our 2 o'clock update. Thank you so much for joining us here on our 2 o'clock update. Once again, I'm meteorologist Nicholas Herboso here in our streaming center. And we are taking a look at the forecast because we do have some thunderstorms possible this weekend. So we're going to get right to it here, starting as always with the upper level look this afternoon. So as we can see, we're looking at the 500 millibar level, about 18,000 feet up. And we have some moisture moving into our area. This is the water vapor that you're looking at as well. So that white color you see is actually moisture in the upper atmosphere. And you can see that we've had some clouds moving into the area that started really yesterday and now continuing on till today. And this is all ahead of our next trough, our next weather maker, which is off to our west right now. You can see it, the dip here in the lines. That's our next trough, and that's going to be spawning a storm system that'll be developing over Oklahoma, Kansas, and then shooting off to the north. And a trailing cold front will be coming our way this weekend and bringing us the chance for some showers and storms. Radar and satellite picture this afternoon shows a few showers off in Louisiana and Mississippi. Right now we are dry, just dealing with partly to mostly cloudy skies. That'll continue for the rest of the day most likely. We do have a small chance of some isolated showers today, but those rain chances are very small and mostly focused in the evening hours. Once you see those showers that are over Louisiana get closer towards us. Temperatures are warm out there. It's 73 degrees in Mobile, much warmer than it has been the past couple of days. 67 in Montgomery, 65 in Birmingham, 71 in Jackson, and 70 in New Orleans. So a mild one out there on this December afternoon. What about across the nation? Well, we do have one storm system that's getting its act together. This is kind of in partnership with our storm system that we have over our area. So let's take a look at it on the map here. So this is the surface map, and what we have indicated here are our fronts and stuff. So we have high pressure that's moved off to the east. If you were watching yesterday, you may remember that we did have this high pressure that was moving off to the east and generating southerly flow. That's why it's warmer today, because now the flow is off the Gulf of Mexico, which is just slightly warmer. More warm, more moist air moving into the Fox 10 viewing area. And then elsewhere, we have a low pressure system, 989 millibars, so a decently strong low pressure system up here in northern Minnesota and the Dakotas. That's going to move off to the east, and we have a trailing cold front across the nation with a low pressure system in Oklahoma. That's all the next system that will slowly move our way, bring more moisture, more warmth ahead of it, and then the chance for those showers and possibly some thunderstorms. A watch morning map across the nation. Not much going on actually, except for up in North Dakota where we have some winter alerts there, and then also in the brown here. Actually have a few areas of brown. These are wind advisories for strong winds, especially as close to that low pressure system there. So this is winter weather advisory. Trying to see if we have winter storm warnings. I think all the winter storm warnings are all out in the Mountain West. So just winter weather advisory for this one for the North Dakota area, and that's with that big storm system, and I'll get you a closer look at this watch warning map. Notice the eastern United States is pretty much quiet for now, but that will be changing as this storm system moves off to the east. Storm Prediction Center outlook for today. Well, we have one area just to the east of Oklahoma, Arkansas, southern Missouri, northwestern Louisiana, and northeastern Texas. I'm going to zoom in to this one for you. The main threat with this one will likely be some large hail with a few thunderstorms that develop today. No big issues there, but of course that is moving our way. Here's the big outlook for tomorrow. This is your Saturday. And you have a level 1 marginal risk for a wide area in the deep south, and then a level 2 slight risk for areas like northern Louisiana, southern Arkansas, Mississippi, northern Mississippi, places like Starkville, north of Jackson there, and then Memphis, Nashville, and Tennessee, and even some of southern Kentucky in that level 2 slight risk for severe weather. Let's go threat by threat here. We're going to go starting with, let's see, this is the hail risk that we're starting with. And you can see in the yellow area, that was where that slight risk was, and that's the highest risk for large hail. As you can see over the Fox 10 viewing area, there's no risk for severe hail tomorrow. What about the tornado risk? Well, that is one thing that is in our area, a very low-end tornado risk, especially later in the day as we get into Sunday morning. But otherwise, it does not look like a very high threat at all. The better dynamics, if you will, for a tornado threat are actually off to our north, and even then they are not that potent. So places like Memphis, Nashville, Starkville, Columbus, north of Jackson as well, places like that dealing with that slightly higher tornado threat in that slight risk zone that we saw. Now, our main concern, or I say concern, our main threat that we would have would be severe wind. And by that, I mean wind gusts of up to 58 miles per hour. It's still the lowest end risk, but that is the one that seems the most likely if severe weather were to occur in the Fox 10 viewing area this weekend. But once again, that threat is very, very low. What about on Sunday? Well, Sunday, the threat moves off to the east. So areas to our east, northwest Florida, places like Apalachicola, Tallahassee, Panama City, stretching up into southern Georgia and then the Carolinas as well. No formal risk for our area once we get towards Sunday. This thing pushes off really efficiently later in the day on Sunday. All right, let's go to the forecast models, shall we, and see what we have going on, and then we'll get through kind of the local forecast here. I wanted to show you big picture first what's happening. We have a dip in the jet stream that's coming our way once we get towards this weekend. So that's Saturday, and then gets closer to us late in the day on Saturday. This is what provides the dynamics, the support for our thunderstorms that we will see this weekend. So remember, Saturday night into Sunday morning. This is what provides the support for that low pressure system, that cold front, and those thunderstorms. And another way to look at it is with our 500 millibar chart. And this one, essentially the upper level pattern. Anywhere we see a dip or a trough, we're often looking for some support for some storm system. And putting this into motion here, you can see this thing dips in towards the central United States there, that big dip. And that is what we're looking for as it approaches our area. That is once again the main energy to support our weekend storms. So let's take a look at it with futurecast modeling now. So here it is, and this is going to take you through this evening as well. So if you have questions about rainfall tonight, here we go. It's not looking too likely. Anything tonight would be light showers, and I know we have the Super 7 game up in Tuscaloosa. A couple light showers towards the end of the game possible, but otherwise no big concerns there. So a couple light sprinkles out there overnight tonight. Otherwise, no major issues, no rumbles of thunder tonight most likely. Then as we get towards Saturday, remember the system was approaching, that dip in the jet stream was approaching, the trough was approaching, that cold front is approaching. So the dynamics are getting there for the possibility of some thunderstorms. And it looks like Saturday afternoon is the time that we get the thunderstorms. This is with the graph model, one of our IBM models that we have in-house with our weather system here at Fox 10 News. And you can see that it is developing showers off to the western portions of our area, some thunder embedded with that as well. That'll continue through the afternoon hours. And then we get a brief lull around 9 p.m., so the Saturday evening newscast will probably be in a lull there. But then a little after that, as the front approaches, yeah, there we go. There's those thunderstorms developing there along I-65, at least according to this model. Notice they're relatively scattered in nature. That's one question that we have had. Does this come in as more of a line? Does it come in more scattered? Recent model trends have been that this comes in a more broken line here. So once again, this is around 12:45 a.m. on your early Sunday morning. This is Saturday night, Sunday morning. And this is 4:45 on your Sunday morning. So the main line coming through now, this is also the cold front coming through here. So if I were to draw it, the cold front's pretty much oriented right around here. And behind all of this, it is quite cold. In fact, there's a pretty good northerly wind coming in behind this here. So it turns cooler really quickly once we get through midday on your Sunday. This is early morning Sunday. Once again, you see the front moving through. Some showers possible later in the morning. The thunder threat looks to be going down a little bit, especially after that front passes. And then once again, you see those lines coming in. That's the wind coming in out of the north and west. and that means much cooler air once we get later in the day on Sunday. So by 5:30, yeah, we're done. We're done with the rain, and actually, I'm going to be honest, the rest of the day on Sunday is probably going to be quite nice. It's going to be a little breezy out there, but a simple forecast once this gets done. I mean, it looks mostly sunny, maybe a few clouds once we get towards Monday. It looks like a nice forecast, cooler forecast once we get this thing passed after Sunday morning. I want to give you a different forecast model look at this. This one is with the HRRR. It's another high-resolution model. So Saturday morning, yeah, there's some scattered showers. Then you see the development of thunderstorms possible as we get towards the afternoon. And then you start to see the line approach our area, but it's a very, very broken line. This is 4 a.m. on Sunday. That almost looks like scattered showers, not even scattered thunderstorms. So that's one of the possibilities. I mean, the dynamics for this system, for the strong storms, it's just not in our area. That's the plain point. The dynamics are not very strong in our area. So possibility of strong storms, yes, but the possibility is looking overall low. There's that line moving through. This is 8 a.m. on Sunday, and this is as far as this model goes out. But 8 a.m. on Sunday, this pushes through, and then we're done with it possibly by the midday hours and early afternoon. So good picture there. One of the ingredients that we have, instability, and we get a good rush of instability Saturday afternoon. That's that color moving into our area, and whenever you see this color, I showed this yesterday as well in our 2 o'clock live, that's essentially the fuel for thunderstorms. And when you talk about the thermodynamics, if you will, the moisture and the humidity and the temperature being warm enough to support thunderstorms, anywhere where you see those purple colors, that's higher instability. Even though I say higher, it's nothing too impressive, but it does actually weaken a little bit as the line gets closer and closer to our area. In fact, you can see by 1 a.m. on Sunday, we start to really lose it, and then overnight. So yes, we have the possibility of thunderstorms, but the recent model trend has been lesser in terms of instability. To show you where the thunderstorms might be, here's the European forecast model, which they're with their flash rate product. Anywhere you see the colors, thunderstorms indicated. And you can see broken thunderstorms pass through the area early on Sunday morning and then clear out by midday. So here's a summary in the weekend forecast for us. So my icons, don't get too confused by them. So scattered thunderstorms possible on Saturday, partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies there, that 50% shot of some afternoon thunderstorms. Then that is morning thunderstorms that you see there on Sunday. That rain chance, 60%, yeah, that's all in the morning. By after midday, it's practically zero. So all in the morning on Sunday. Also, that temperature that you see on Sunday, 62 degrees. Yeah, that's going to fall as we get towards the afternoon hours. So by, I want to say sunset, around 4 or 5 o'clock, I mean, we could be in the 40s. It's going to be cooler and breezy once we get to the afternoon on your Sunday. So get ready for that. Don't get fooled by that forecast where you see that 60% chance for rain. All right, let's move on. What happens after this? What happens after this? Well, let's keep going on with the models here. So that big dip in the jet stream, it pushes off to the east, and we get into kind of a more straight line flow, a zonal flow, if you will. Not a lot going on, maybe some weak ridging, and that would indicate calmer weather, and that's definitely what we have happening. So what we have, this is now 500 millibars, so the upper level pattern, if you will. That big trough, this is on Sunday, that's going to push off to the east. And then we have a ridge over the west coast, and that approaches our area. So by the time we get towards early next week, we have weak ridging in place over the area, and that means mostly sunny conditions, or at least nicer weather for our area here in the southeast. And that shows very well on the long-range modeling. This is with the GFS. You can see we clear out very nicely when we get to Monday. Monday, mostly sunny skies expected. Temperatures on Monday will likely be in the 50s, so very cool out there. And then on to Tuesday, similar story. High pressure going in control. Just a few clouds around. That's a little bit much, I think, on the cloud projection there. Wednesday, same story, partly to mostly cloudy, no real issues there. Temperatures on Wednesday will probably be warming up just a little bit, so closer to 60 degrees instead of the 50s. And then getting towards Thursday, very similar story, temperatures in the 60s, a very quiet forecast there. So here's the outlook over the next few days. So we have that weekend rain chance and then quiet as we get into next week. Now after this, we do have some chances for some more showers. And there's been some model disagreement, but as we get towards next Friday and Saturday, this is next Friday and Saturday, next Friday, next Saturday. You see this low pressure system off to our south here, be centered right about here. I don't know if that let me drew it on there. Come on. There he goes. Yeah, so that low pressure system sitting right over there. Now, some models had this tracking maybe a little bit more to the north, previous model runs, but the latest shift has been to the south. So with that, it looks like our rain chance is maybe slightly lower Friday and Saturday. This is next Friday and Saturday, not this weekend, but the next weekend. Looking long range here. And you can see the model pushes that thing off to our south. So I'm keeping a rain chance in the 10-day outlook. So you can see next Saturday and next Sunday. That is the 16th and the 17th. I'm keeping a very, very small rain chance and then the chance of some showers. That's a long way out. So if you have weekend plans that weekend, we'll just be watching that forecast very closely. It doesn't look like thunderstorms that weekend. It looks like it's just going to be some lighter rain, showery conditions. Also, this temperature is a little bit cooler. Likely those morning lows will be very cool once again in the 40s. You can see the overall trend here. I'll pop myself on here. You can see the overall trend here in the numbers. We're staying into the 30s once we get after this cold front this weekend, 34, 36, and then we go up to the 40s, and I think we keep the 40s around in the morning for that next weekend. That's once again the 16th and 17th there. So that's the story there, but once again we have our weekend rain chance here. How much rain could we get from this? Well, the Weather Prediction Center outlook has us getting around a half an inch to maybe even an inch of rain. In fact, it looks like this is an update, and looks like we have dropped some of the numbers here, so I'm going to have to adjust this graphic a little bit. 2 inches off the coast here. This looks like more quarter of an inch to half an inch over our area. So it looks like they've lowered the totals a little bit, which makes sense based on recent guidance. And then barely anything around 1/10 of an inch once you get off to our west. So that's the story. Not a ton of rain with this one, but definitely some rain possible. I'll take it full screen for you. There. Ignore the numbers, just took the colors there. Anywhere you see that blue, close to an inch. So once again, our rainfall total is relatively low with this, which is not something that we want because we have the drought still going on. Even though now we're only in kind of those lower levels of the drought. Abnormally dry is the category, or moderate drought, all the big stuff off to our west. There's that moderate drought you can see in that tan color for a good chunk of our area. The orange is severe drought. That's for our Mississippi counties and a portion of western Washington County. Mobile, Washington, Clark, Monroe, and Baldwin County. You can see the abnormally dry yellow section there. So once we get this weekend rain chance out, even though it doesn't look like a lot, yeah, there's not a lot of rain after this actually. We go zeros on the board for Monday through at least Friday. Some models were indicating the possibility of some stuff on Friday, but we're watching that very closely. We'll see. Once again, temperatures as we get to next week, yeah, they'll be much cooler. Highs in the 50s. Possibly some 60s there, so much cooler weather on the way. Here's a look at that 7-day forecast. If you have any questions, I'm keeping an eye on it with my spare computer here, so put those in the comments. I'm going to go for a little bit longer here. But right now, the main story, Saturday night, Sunday morning storms, not looking like too much of an issue, not looking like too much of a disruption. But Saturday afternoon, we could have some disruptive thunderstorms, and then once we get towards Sunday morning, we have those storms passing. Sunday afternoon looking cooler, mostly clear, and overall nice. So that 60% that you see, once again, is in the morning. Then early next week, calmer, drier, cooler weather out there. It looks like a good forecast to get to your next work week. Once again, Friday afternoon. So this afternoon, this evening, a couple showers possible, no big issues. Here's a look at the current map, and you can see those showers off to our west, so we can't rule out a few sprinkles as we get to this evening. Once again, we'll be staying warm in the 70s. Temperatures won't drop that much tonight. Once again, we got to talk about Super 7. We've been doing well down here. We had all of our local teams won yesterday. So now it's Saraland. A few friends on staff with the marching band there at Saraland. So it looks like they're going to have a good trip up there. Temperatures will be in the 50s. They're close to 60 degrees, a few showers possible. Saraland Spartans once again taking on Clay Chalkville at 7 o'clock in Bryant-Denny Stadium. And hopefully that'll complete our 4 teams, hopefully all winning there. So good luck to them this evening in the 6A championship up at Bryant-Denny. I'll run through FutureCast one more time for you before we wrap this thing up. And I'll just kind of let it run. You can see that. Once again, we thank you so much for joining us here on our 2 o'clock live. I'll leave you with the FutureCast and I'll run through it. We're preparing for our 3 o'clock show. So tune into that. We'll be giving you another update there. But once again, I'll leave you with the FutureCast. Thank you so much for joining us here on our 2 o'clock weather live. I am meteorologist Nicholas Herboso.